Soufflé fail, family laughs. So last weekend, I decided it was finally time to impress my in-laws and prove to them that their daughter hadn't married a complete culinary disaster. My secret weapon? A homemade cheese soufflé, the kind you see in fancy cookbooks where everything is golden and puffy, and the chef looks like they've just achieved enlightenment. I spent the whole morning prepping, egg whites whipped to stiff peaks, cheese grated with the focus of a diamond cutter, and the oven preheated like it was about to witness history. My wife and her parents were in the living room, politely pretending not to notice the occasional no coming from the kitchen. I slid the soufflé into the oven with the grace of a seasoned professional and set the timer. That's when my nephew, Max, who's 11, has a bowl cut, and the comedic timing of a stand-up veteran, wandered in to inspect for quality control. He sniffed the air, declared it smelling suspiciously edible, and promptly asked if soufflés are supposed to make that hissing sound. I assured him it was all part of the process, but in reality, the soufflé had started making noises somewhere between bread rising and a balloon losing air. When the timer dinged, I opened the oven to reveal what could only be described as a deflated beach ball of sadness. The soufflé, which had soared majestically only minutes before, now sat in the dish like a popped tire, wheezing softly. I carried it out to the dining room, where the entire family fell silent, the kind of silence usually reserved for tax audits or discovering a pet has decorated the rug. Nobody said a word. My father-in-law looked pained, my wife looked apologetic, and my mother-in-law looked like she was reconsidering her life choices. Then, just as I started to mentally draft my apology, Max leaned in with the seriousness of a tiny philosopher and said, "Don't worry, it's just going through a rough patch." And that's how I learned my soufflé had more emotional support than I did at my own wedding.